So I was calling today to talk about my husband, who's a wonderful, wonderful man, but for some reason, he just doesn't seem happy. Like he doesn't see his own value and his own worth. And as his wife, like I want to support him. And so I wonder where my responsibility to helping him find that value and that happiness like ends and where his responsibility begins.
Tell me what you mean by he doesn't seem happy anymore.
One of the main contributors, I think, is body dysmorphia.
Mm-hmm.
He has this image in his mind of the younger him, where he grew up. He was pretty morbidly obese, and he was able to, fight that demon, and he's in wonderful, wonderful shape. But for whatever reason, he still finds himself looking at himself in the mirror, thinking that he's too large, or he's just simply uncomfortable in his skin.
Yeah.
And he makes a lot of comments about it, especially like in front of our daughters. And it makes me very nervous for the inner dialogue that our daughters are creating for themselves.
Sure.
And I mean, that's only one contributor. He doesn't seem happy at all. He's not happy with where we live. He's not happy with our house. He's not happy with his job sometimes. He's not happy with all of these things. And I feel personally that it's so much coming from his intrinsic value that's just sort of being projected.
Yeah. There's a sense that something out there will make me feel better inside.
Exactly.
Yeah. How long have y'all been married?
We've been married for about 4 years, and we've been together for 11.
How old are you?
35.
35. How old are your babies?
7 and 9.
Okay. I as a guy who has also struggled with body dysmorphia, I was never morbidly obese, but in fact, I was the opposite. I was just so skinny. I can tell you the two things that worked in my life. One was my wife contacted a close friend of mine that sat down and said, "You got to go talk to somebody." And again, body dysmorphia it's a symptom, right? It's a light on the dashboard of there's something external, whether it's a mirror image, whether it's a dollar amount, whether it's a size of a neighborhood, whether it's a house, whatever it is. But it's a sign of something missing inside. The second thing is my wife has been very direct in, you're not going to say those things in front of my children. And when she took that type of ownership for me, it's like I'm trying to think of the right word, but it was like a lightning bolt for me. Like basically she came to a point where she said, you can think this about yourself. It is not true. It's a lie, but I can't get inside your head. But you will not say these things about your body in front of those kids.
Right.
And that was a lightning bolt for me.
Yeah, I've taken that stance of...
Good. It's basically protecting your kids, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
This is an environment that our children are growing up in, and I don't want them to think anything but beautiful thoughts about themselves. And I've also, I think, sort of the first point that you hit on about talking to somebody else to talk to him is a big one for us, because early in our relationship, he wasn't the most stand-up guy. He wasn't, the man that he is today. And for that reason, a lot of his friends, like his friend group, I mean, naturally as a young adult, your friends sort of go off in different directions, but his friends really dropped him. And in the last, however many years since, he hasn't really gained a foundation or a support group of men in his life, like I would like for him to. And I can only think of maybe one or two people who are really close to him friend-wise, and honestly, I don't completely trust them. I don't see that they have the values inside of them that I would even feel comfortable calling to say, hey, you need to talk to him. because I have asked him directly, hey, how can I support you? Like, would you be interested in talking to somebody in therapy? And he immediately balks at that. Would you like to explore religion? And he balks at that. Whether it's solo, whether it be as a family, whether it's a men's Bible study group. And it just feels like all of the options that I have at my feet just aren't good enough. And that unhappiness, it permeates our household, and in ways like he doesn't want to go do things, or, even if he does it, it very much feels like he's doing it to satisfy us and isn't truly there in the moment with us.
Okay, but I want you to be careful about a couple of things, okay? And I'll give you a couple of options, but if he does go do the things, and you begin to try to get inside his head and begin to judge his motives or his feelings about doing the things, then what happens is it's this weird recursive loop-de-loop, but he comes to understand that he lives in a failure factory.
Got it.
And if he can't rest in the right way, or he can't go play with his daughters in the right way, or even going out with the family for ice cream or to baseball, I don't know what y'all do, but to go fishing, I'm just making up stuff. If he can't do that, because even then you're like, well, you don't even want to be here, and then that's a recipe for a man that just cashes out in his own life.
Right.
Instead of, at the end of the night, even if he felt grumpy, even if he felt like he was distant, and you've been with him for over a decade, when he's present, when he's not. Even if like emotionally, his body can be somewhere, but his mind's somewhere else.
Right.
There is something incredibly powerful about you putting your hand on his forearm on the drive home and at a stoplight saying, hey, look me in the eyes. And he looks at you and say, I'm really glad that you came tonight. This is more fun with you here.
Right.
That's different than, you don't even seem like you want to be here. You get what I'm saying?
Right, yes.
And so he's got to have some places where he gets tiny little wins. And not unfortunately, thank God, you're the person that can help him with those tiny little wins. Because right now, his ability to see them in and of himself, that sensor doesn't work. It's busted. And it probably got broken when he was a kid.
Right.
The next thing you can do is, if he doesn't want to go, or I just don't feel like, I'm going to go anyway. And there was years of my life that I went begrudgingly because I didn't want to be the husband who stayed at home while my wife took the kids out somewhere.
Right. No, and I did go through that. I did go through the, we're going to go and you're totally invited and we'd love for you to come stage.
Okay.
And he's definitely moved past that. Like, no, I'm going to be there. And
awesome.
I can't understate the amount. Like, he is a wonderful husband. He is a present parent. Like, I don't understand how he doesn't see himself the way that I do.
Yeah. It may be that his mom and his dad didn't either.
Yes.
And my guess is that you feel powerless and you feel like you're somehow deficient because you can't make him see something. And I don't want you to project your feeling of failure, which, by the way, you're not failing. I don't want you to project that on him and make him carry that too.
You're absolutely right.
So for me, this is me just being as honest as I can, probably more honest than I've ever been on the show. I don't know that I will ever be able to see myself in a mirror in a way that is accurate. But I'll be damned if my kids won't see their beauty.
Right.
And so I gently ask my wife sometimes, hey, is this t-shirt, can I wear this t-shirt? And she knows what that means. And she'll say, you look hot. Or she'll say, let's don't do that one today. And I've chosen to not let that spiral me out. I've chosen to let her be honest with me. Right?
Right.
And I make sure I tell my daughter every single day of her life, even though she rolls her eyes out the back of her head, that I think she's beautiful. And I make sure with my son that I hug him every single day of my life. I would like to hug my daughter, but That's a whole thing. But we have a special hug. It's not really a hug, but it's as close as I'm going to get for a while. But I'm going to make sure that they know without a shadow of a doubt that they're beautiful, that they're handsome.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that you can fix what's inside of him with that. I mean, my sensor's just busted. It just is. And I've just made peace with it because I got tired of hating. I got tired of hating how I looked, and then I got tired of hating that I hated how I looked. Right? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I just declared a ceasefire with my own self. It is what it is. And I exercise so I feel good. And I try to wear clothes that fit most of the time. And I'm going to make sure my kids know I freaking love them.
Yeah. I think the part that you said about like me projecting my feelings of failure, like it's my responsibility to help him remedy that feeling or fix that picture in the mirror or whatever it may be. It hits the nail on the head, especially when, like I said, this discontent feels like it bleeds into other things. Like when he's like, I wish that our house was a little bit bigger. I wish that I could have this country club membership. And I think all of those things continue that narrative in my head of like, I'm failing him somehow. Like I didn't get us a larger house. Like I didn't get us a country club membership. Like I didn't, whatever X may be.
Here's the solution to that. The first thing is tonight when the kids are in bed, tell them I want 30 minutes just with you and me. And you can tell them, you're not getting lucky tonight, buddy. I just need to talk to you for a minute. And you can laugh about it, whatever. But hold his hands and look him in the eye and say, this is going to be awkward, but I'm doing this anyway. And say, you're the guy that I met 11 years ago or 12 years ago that I've been with for 11 years. I've been married to for 4 years. We made 2 beautiful kids. I think you're effing awesome. And I think you're super attractive. And I know that for whatever reason you don't always see that, but I've been trying to take ownership of that, and I'm not going to anymore. I'm just going to tell you that I love you. And I'm going to stop nagging you about it and hassling you about it. And I see the man you're becoming. I see the dad you are. It's amazing. And I project my own insecurities onto you, and I'm sorry. And the next step will be, I want you to take all of those things, a little bit bigger house, country club membership. I want you to write it down on a piece of paper. And once a month, you and I, when we do our family calendar and our family budget, we'll look at them and see, are any of these still important or not? And once you get them out of your head and on a piece of paper, when I started doing that, I'm telling you, just some of the stuff just falls away because it's dumb. But when it's in my head, it's another brick in the mental load wheelbarrow that I carry around with me all the time. Writing it down at the end of the day is like, dude, country club, what a waste of money. That's just stupid. But
right.
When it just feels like another thing I don't have, or another thing I don't have, and then it feels like there's 100 things I don't have, just commit to writing them down and tell him, I'm going to write down my things. And y'all can look at them, and you can laugh, and you can circle them, and the next month you can roll them up, and the next month you can roll them up. And at the end of this year, if y'all have saved up some money and y'all want to spend it on something, then look on that list and see what you want to spend it on.
Yeah.
But begin to just get that crap out of your body and out of your spirit and out of your head and put it on a piece of paper.
I can do that.
But here's what I'm saying. Be in it with him. And tell him, dude, it makes me feel a little bit small that I can't give you a bigger house. And he's probably going to say, it's my job to get a bigger house. And you might say, well, I make more money than you. I don't know y'all's financial situation, but y'all can talk about it. Or what my wife says 100% of the time is when I say, man, I wish we had, she goes, I love this house. I love it. And it's just an exhale, like she loves our life.
I do.
And I hear that from her over and over. And I'm telling you, it is a tall glass of cold water in the desert for me. As a guy who just feels like I'm never providing enough, my goodness, just hearing that over and over is such a gift. And I'm sure she gets tired of saying it, but it's just pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'll tell you is, at some point, if you want to tell him, hey, I want to love you better, I want to find ways that I can love you better. And I don't feel like I'm doing a great job. And he'll probably say, you do a great job. You can go see somebody here in Nashville and just tell them, I would love for you to come with me, but I'm going to go because I want to learn to love you better. And he sounds like the kind of guy that will let you go once, let you go twice, and he'll be like, okay, I'll go.
Yeah.
And that's okay. And if he sits there with his arm folded in the first 1 or 2 sessions and he hears you tell a third party, I just want to love this man, and he doesn't see what value I see in him and how amazing I think he is, and I want to do a better job of connecting with him, that might be the path to him opening up for the first time.